many eggs have you eaten?
This is my third. And good morning.
There aren't any others left.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't know you liked eggs.
What would they be doing in my refrigerator if I didn't like eggs?
Here. It's yours.
I don't like them hard-boiled.
Amber, I asked you what you wanted for breakfast.
When?
Half an hour ago.
I was asleep a half hour ago.
Oh? You rolled over. I thought you were ignoring me.
You could have at least left one just in case. This isn't your house.
No, and the car that you drive to work sometimes isn't always your car, is it? And the tabs I pick up at the King's Arms aren't always your tabs either, are they?
No, I was running up a bill.
Well, if I was going to collect for those things, I would have done it last night.
I'd say you did.
Well, if I did, I could have gotten a better return on my money someplace else.
Well, maybe you should have.
That's normal. Just relax and keep your feet up. Uh-huh. Just a minute. Come in.
Terry, have you got a minute?
Listen, Lori, Nancy's here. Yeah, I'll talk to you later. Right. Bye-bye. Well, I haven't seen too much of you around here lately.
Well, I've had a lot that I've had to think through.
I'm sure you have. Have you come to any decisions?
Well, I guess it's pretty obvious what's got to happen. I've got to get a job. You know, I need a second chance. That's where you come in. Terry, I need to ask you a favor. Well, what I need is a job, you know, so I can get off people's backs.
Well, what about the unemployment office? They usually have a line on available work.
Well, yeah, if I want to spend the summer just pouring tar and picking up roadside litter. I mean, you don't want your sister doing that, do you?
Nancy, you haven't proven yourself responsible for holding any other jobs.
Right, and that's where I'm going to change when I'm given the chance.
What chance?
Well, I found this ad in the Chronicle. It's for a nurse's aide position at this hospital. Here, read it.
And no, that's all right. I know what it says.
You placed the ad?
I authorized it.
But Terry, I mean, this would be great for me. I mean, why don't you just come directly to me?
Well, from an employer's point of view, because you have no training, no background, no references.
Yeah, but Terry, you're my reference, and what I don't have in background, I make up for in enthusiasm. And as far as training, well, I mean, it's only a nurse's aide, right?
Right, which is why the job is perfect for pre-meds or undergrads working on a nursing degree.
Yeah, but Terry, the fact remains, you say I've got the job, and I've got it, right?
Wrong. You would have to see Mrs. Wilson in personnel and fill out an application.
Yeah, but that's only a technicality.
You'd fill out the application, and if it meets the job requirements, then it's passed on to me. I review it, and along with all the other applications, I pass that on to Mrs. Riviera.
Well, who is that, your boss?
No, she's the head of the department.
Well, wait a minute. You're over Mrs. Wilson and Mrs. Riviera then,
Yes,
right?
but the fact remains that I listen to their suggestions. It's called diplomacy. And what you want is called nepotism.
Terry, I need this job. I could do it. I know I could.
Well, I suppose I can't keep you from filling out the application. But as far as going to bat
Terry,
for it,
thank you so
Nancy,
much. Oh, I really
Nancy.
appreciate it. You're the best sister.
Nancy, listen to me.
Thanks.
Nancy.
So, you want me to leave?
Oh, Gil. Look, the only reason this started is because I just wanted you to recognize what's mine around here.
Fine. Why don't you put your initials on the eggs next time?
Oh, come on, Gil. That's enough.
I've got to go to work.
No. Look, maybe we shouldn't see so much of each other.
What? I've spent the night here maybe 3 times in the last 2 weeks.
Well, maybe they've just been the wrong times. I don't know, something has got to change, Gil. It's just not like it used to be.
It hasn't been since the Canterbury came down.
Agreed.
But I've changed. You haven't.
Go on.
Because I had to face and live through the first disaster in my life.
You can stop right there. I know what's coming.
So you admit it?
I certainly do not admit it. Stacy uses this line on me all the time about how I haven't suffered enough. Isn't that what you were going to say?
I was going to say that you've never gotten past your own suffering. Mine or anybody else's has never mattered to you.
That isn't true. What about my mother's suffering? She matters to me, you know it.
Yeah, your interfering in your mother's life just proves my point. You're just trying to protect yourself, the same way you did when I needed your help.
Oh, get over it.
Oh, I am. I needed you to open up, and you couldn't.
We had a simple agreement before all of this started. No commitments, no long-term anything.
Who's talking about that? All I wanted was
I know exactly what you wanted, among other things. You wanted pity. I can't believe I got involved with a man so much like my father.
Your father?
You're carbon copies. You dig yourself a hole and then you crawl into it. And then you start crying about tough times. Well, I didn't invest in the Canterbury or you, and I got nothing in return, except what happened in that room.
And that's all you asked for.
That's right. I thought you were smart enough to know about that. I only said it word for word.
I was smart enough. I just wasn't strong enough. I've been doing a lot of thinking lately, Amber. And I realized that for most of my life, I've enjoyed not needing people, especially women. And because they needed me, that made me feel stronger. Boy, was I ever fooling myself. I was ignoring my own feelings. Inside was the only place I didn't look. And when I did, I realized that I was empty. And I was frightened. Because I knew that I always wasn't going to be able to run as hard, or play as hard, or work as hard.
Or perform as well.
Yeah. That too. And I realized I needed support from a real woman.
Get out.
I will. I'll be back for my things.
Just get out!
Sleep well?
A lot better than the night before.
Well, I guess that sofa isn't very comfortable.
Yeah. The next time we have an argument, you can try that thing out for size.
I was hoping there wouldn't be a next time.
Mm-hmm. You know something? Every time we have our little argument, whatever the point is, any big or small, when we've proven that point, we generally wind up twice as miserable. Why is that?
Because we love ourselves more than we love our own opinions.
Yeah, well, let's hope so.
Another house was robbed 2 nights ago. Who knows what happened last night?
Carla, now...
I was just letting you know before you leave.
Oh, so are you kicking me out the door already?
Well, you're already late.
Well, don't worry about me. Everything's gonna be fine. Besides, I have a light schedule today. I'm gonna be showing Peter around the newsroom.
Well, maybe you can talk to Brubaker.
About what?
About these cat burglaries. Get an angle. Write yourself a story.
Carla, now wait a minute. Now, you have already accused Monk of this, and he's denied it, so why don't we just drop it?
Well, you might get yourself an exclusive this way.
Nope. I'm not gonna let you back me into another defense of Monk.
Well, that's not what I'm trying to do. But come on, Gene. I mean, he might know something. He did hang out with that crowd, and with the hours he's keeping, maybe he still does.
I can't ask him without sounding like I'm accusing him.
Well, do you know where he goes at night?
Well, no.
Well, maybe you can at least find out. Oh, Gene, I'm scared. Because with these break-ins, everything's only pointing to one thing.
Wait, no. Now, Carla, don't... Jimmy,
Is Monk really a burglar? Does Monk really steal things?
That's not what I'm saying, Jimmy.
Why don't you tell him what you meant?
Oh, Gene, please.
I'm serious. Would you please give him the facts?
I'm not saying that Monk has stolen anything. I just thought maybe he might know something about the thefts that have been happening in the neighborhood.
Like he's not really stealing, but he's helping out someone else by stealing.
No.
Jimmy, come here. Sit down a minute. Let me explain something to you. What your mother is trying to say is that Monk probably has some old buddies from the Chesterfield neighborhood who's probably involved with this. And I'm sure that if Monk knew anything about it, he would be willing to come forward with that kind of information.
I don't think Monk is the kind of guy who'd steal from a person.
You're absolutely right, buddy. And the sooner we start making him feel at home around here, he's going to keep changing for the better. Now tell me what you have on your schedule for today.
I'm going swimming at the Tylers.
Hey, that's great. I wish I could come along with you.
Hey, Mom, do you know where my swimsuit is?
Mm-hmm. Bottom drawer, right-hand side.
Thanks.
And would you turn the sprinkler on for me before you go?
All right.
You think I'm mad, don't you?
Yeah.
You're right.
Well, you can at least ask him where he goes. I mean, we deserve to know.
All right, I'll ask him when I get home tonight. Knucklehead. See you.
See you.
I was hoping to do a follow-up story on Prescott Development.
Why not? Have a seat.
Okay.
The insurance money has come through, the books are almost balanced, and we're about $1 million in the hole.
Any contracts?
Well, nothing signed, but we've got a couple pending.
Sounds like things are looking up.
Well, my workers aren't going to burn me in effigy, if that's what you mean.
And you've kept your sense of humor through it all.
I think I've gained it, really. No thanks to your sister.
How's that?
Put that away.
Fair enough, but I've got more questions.
Okay, later, but I've got some questions for you, too. Has Amber ever been in love?
I don't know. The parade of boyfriends has been endless ever since junior high.
But nobody special.
That's a strange question. She hurt you, didn't she?
Would I join the parade if I said yes?
I don't know. I'm sure most of the men Amber's had have been just as cold as she was.
Do you think I was like that?
Yeah, but it's none of my business.
I wish it was.
Excuse me?
I've got another question for you.
Okay.
Will you go to lunch with me?
This came in the inter-office mail this morning. It's from Lester.
Please make time to see me today. We have very important matters to discuss.
Warm, isn't it?
Well, it's not definite.
Oh, come on, Terry. You know Lester. He puts as little as possible in print. That way it makes it easier for him to retract what he says.
Do you think he's come to a decision?
Yep. He's not going to keep an impaired surgeon on his staff. Doctors with only 80% use in their hand don't make for very good PR.
What about an opening in internal medicine?
Nothing. Unless you've heard something.
No, I can't say that I have.
Well, I'm sure if something comes up, you and Alex will put in a good word for me. So tell me about Nancy.
She wants to be a nurse's aide.
Here?
And she asked me to help her land the job. She called it her second chance.
Second chance is more like her 15th.
Well, I may be gullible to the end, but I do think she's beginning to change a little.
Oh, I don't know, Terry. When she came into the clinic, she was pretty upset. She wouldn't talk to anybody but Dave.
Well, maybe she wants a recommendation from him.
Oh, God forbid.
Anyway, I sent her down to personnel, Mrs. Wilson. Come in.
I just talked to Mrs. Wilson and I charmed the socks off her.
Lunch with me?
Yeah. I need to talk things over with somebody.
Well, why me?
You seem to care.
Well, not as much as some other people do.
There's not as many as you think. Oh, hey, look, I didn't mean to upset you.
I'm not upset. It's just a little unusual.
What, you don't get asked out much?
That's not it. At least, not by my sister's old boyfriends, if that's what you are.
Yes or no?
Where?
King's Arms?
On one condition,
Name it.
that we talk about your company so that I can do my story.
Fine. That way you can write it off as a business expense, huh?
No.
Good. Because this one's on me. You know, when I first met you, I couldn't believe that you and Amber were from the same family. But now that I'm getting to know you a little bit better, I really can see the differences.
And you thought the difference was only skin deep? Well, let me get back to the paper so that I can get some things done before lunch.
Okay.
When will I meet you there?
12 o'clock, but don't meet me at the restaurant. I'll pick you up at the paper.
All right, see you later.
So what you do is punch this little button here, and everything is fed in downstairs.
Comes out on a piece of paper? Mm-hmm. Then you don't need a copy runner anymore.
Well, no, not exactly, but we still have our share of gophers around here. Say, you think you might be interested in working around here, buddy?
Maybe. I don't know. I just figure I'm one in a million kids in college right now, and I'll end up with my nice family, nice house, you know.
Yeah.
Be bored out of my mind.
Yeah, well, now, I tell you something. I know a lot of people who spent their whole lifetime scraping just for that.
Well, I don't mean to be disrespectful.
Yeah,
I don't have any of it yet.
But it's not so great, huh? So tell me something. What does journalism have to do with these middle-class nightmares of yours?
Well, I know when you and my dad worked together, there was a lot of excitement.
Yeah, that's for sure. We had our excitement, the danger, and long hours. But, Peter, I tell you, it makes you appreciate that house, that family, and the yard, if nothing else.
Hey, I've enjoyed the tour, but there's one more site I'd like to take in.
What's that? Oh, Stacy. Hey, you two have something going there, buddy?
I just figure she might be one of the few girls that I don't have to compete for with Gil.
I see.
Read's fine, Gene. Check my notes.
Oh, good. Hey, Walter, you have a minute? I'd like you to meet a friend of mine. This is Peter Davidson. My boss here, the editor.
Walter McGovern, Scott's son?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
He's a great man.
Thank you.
And it's a great loss.
Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Peter's thinking about taking up where his father left off.
Oh, yeah? You're interested in the news?
Checking it out.
Oh, good. Let me know what you decide. I might be able to help you.
Hey, Peter, that's pretty good. He doesn't usually do that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah?
That's right. No, especially the kind of reputation that your father left, which, incidentally, it would be kind of hard to live up to.
Hello?
Oh, Peter,
Kinda hoping I'd catch you here.
getting the grand tour?
Just had it. Yeah, we're finished.
Good.
You know, it'd be kind of nice to top off the tour if you'd let me take you to lunch.
That's very nice, but I'm already going out with someone.
Oh,
Gil.
Well, this afternoon I talked to Mrs. Riviera. She's the head of the nurses' aides.
Oh, thank you.
First, the paperwork has to come through my office.
Oh, well, sure, but what are you going to do? Veto your own flesh and blood? Terry has been an absolute gem through this whole thing. She really has. Oh, and by the way, I told her that it was completely my idea applying for this job.
Oh, so you're not expecting any special favors from Terry?
Well, let's just say I don't want to be obvious about it, you know.
Nancy, I made my point the last time you were here. If somebody comes in who's more qualified and more capable than you are, I won't play favorites.
Oh, well, you know, sure.
And besides, it is a three-way decision.
Okay, guys, you don't have to gang up on me. I know, you know. It's really a good thing that you're here, you know, because you could probably put in a good word for me. I know how the hospital staff must love the young doctors.
Actually, I do have a very important meeting with Lester Lewis today.
He's the top dog, isn't he?
Chief administrator. But because of my hand, he may ask me to leave the hospital. I've fallen out of favor with him.
Oh, persona non gratis, huh?
Maybe. You see, I've become quite a problem. Oh, but don't worry. I'll be glad to put in a good word for you, Nancy.
No, that's all right. You know, a big guy like that, we don't want to bother him with this little job. I'm sure Terry can take care of the whole thing. Well, I have to tell you, I'm just thrilled that things are finally looking up.
You are terrible.
Now, Peter, this is good copy because it's clear, precise, and to the point, and that's exactly what you want.
Lunchtime.
Oh, just a minute, okay?
Sure. Peter, what are you doing here?
Gene gave me the big tour.
Oh,
How about you?
I'm taking Stacy to lunch at the King's Arms. You ready, Stace?
Just a minute.
Okay. So, you going to the huddle for burgers again?
No. I'm gonna be meeting someone.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear you're not eating alone. Who is it?
Vicky.
Tell the warden I said hello.
Hey, Peter, how would you like to join me at Leon's Diner today?
No, I was serious. If Stacy won't go to lunch with me, I just go see Vicky. I'm not gonna let a little thing like that get me down.
Well, good man, buddy.
You know, God's bigger than the problem with your hand.
Well, sometimes I just don't know if he's bigger than this hospital.
He is. Your future doesn't depend on Lester Lewis, so remember that.
Well, how about if you tell Lester that?
Sure, just don't tell him where it came from. Well, I'll be waiting to hear how it came out.
Bye.